Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your Inter Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or intermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where Inter Miami and all Miami sports fans.
I think I know what this is. Houston, we have a package. Hello?
No matter where you are, the Sloman Shield home security system guards your home. With next-gen perimeter protection, 24/7 monitoring, and interior motion sensing. And right now, get a free Sloman Shield security system and doorbell camera, all professionally installed, for free.
Shield your world, the Sloman Shield.
All right, we are live. It is the Squared Circle Digest. It is Tuesday night. I am Sean Stanley. I think I may have had that a little bit too high. So we're here. It is Tuesday night, as I said, here in the beautiful Miami Garden Studio, Casa de Stanley. We had 5 days in Tortugas in the Flagler Beach area. Spent that down there. Only bad thing about when you go away for 5 days and you come back, there's no food in the house. So went to get some food and got behind probably the slowest couple in Miami. And by slowest couple, I mean slow. It was very bad. They had about 23 different fruits and vegetables. And, of course, they got in the self-checkout and did nothing but try to push buttons, and it was quite the fiasco there. John Yang, what's up, buddy? What's going on? So back here Tuesdays, Thursdays, 8 p.m. right here on the Big O Radio Show YouTube channel. And Dad, what's going on, sir? I guess the big news right now is Jeff Hardy gets his third DUI, and the interesting thing with all this is his license is still revoked from his second DUI. And he was, of course, driving under the influence. AEW, I think, has done the right thing and suspended him indefinitely. They're going to send him to rehab if he wants to go. It says in the statement that he has accepted that, and he will not be back on TV until he is complete a rehab assignment through AEW's liking or how this goes. I mean, for everything great about Jeff Hardy, man, this has been the one demon that he just has had since he's been in wrestling. I mean, it's been one of the things. I think a lot of it goes to, since he's in AEW now, and you watch it week in and week out, he's doing the ladder dives, he's doing the big bumps, he's doing all that. I think he self-medicates. And when he does that, he's probably taking some pills, he's drinking, and apparently he blew like almost 4 times the legal limit here in Florida and everything else. And it's one of those things, man. The man needs help. He definitely needs the help. And hopefully this time, look, Moxley, I don't know what the whole situation with him was. He went to the rehab facility, came out, and he's looked better than ever. I just mean the look of John Moxley. He even looks a little bit younger. I know he's got the balding and all that stuff going on. Don't we all? But he looks better. It looks I don't want to say cleaner, because cleaner is not the right word, but he just looks healthier, I guess, is the right thing, since he went to rehab and got out. And hopefully, hopefully it works out for Jeff Hardy. Again, he had his issues before. I think some people thought they came back when he walked out of the match at WWE. Some people said he was under the influence there. Others say no. Again, this right here does not help his case. But the one thing is, again, he's driving and he's got a revoked license. I mean, where is he getting the cars from? Who's letting him get behind the wheel and do this? And I mean, who's with him at the time? I know a lot of people thought he was with Matt. He was not with Matt. Matt and his family had left to go on vacation. There was a timing there. I know some stories had come out that said that, he was there and and he was not. He was not with them there. The court case is scheduled for July 5th. He got out on $3,500 bond, and it's in Volusia County. Let's see what else they got here. Sean Rassap of Fightful, of course, does all the things. He wrote that Matt and Jeff attended a concert and a signing on Sunday, June 12th. Matt then left Jeff after he ensured that he got to his hotel room. When Matt and his family flew home, Jeff stayed in Florida. During the arrest, Jeff, who was allegedly under the influence, told officers that he had a doctor's appointment so he could get brain scans for his head. Ross Sapp stated that AEW hasn't commented on this aspect and for legal reasons unlikely to do so. The report goes on to clarify that Jeff was arrested at 9:54 a.m. and booked to the jail at 12:45 p.m. As for Jeff driving without a license, stated the Hardy had a driver's license that he used to rent vehicles, both while he was in WWE and since he signed with AEW. Also wrote that there hasn't been any word on the aspect affecting Hardy's ability to rent cars in other states. So basically, he's got a revoked license, but apparently, you can rent cars and they don't really do the checks. So again, it's one of those things, man, where I just hope Jeff gets help for himself, for his family, for his daughter, his wife, his brother, that, and just in general, man, and he needs help. And fortunately, it hasn't been any worse. Apparently there was 4 911 calls about erratic driving it was pulled over, I believe it was on 95 in Volusia County. It was an interstate. I don't know if anybody's seen the TMZ, but they show the TMZ and he's on a highway. I believe it's 95. But again, it's at 9:45 in the morning, man. And he's already at, I think it was a 0.2 something or 0.19 or 0.2 something. 9:45 in the morning. I just hope he gets help, and I hope AEW, and so far it seems they have taken it seriously. Again, they have suspended him indefinitely and without pay, by the way. So it's one of those things that he's lucky that nobody's been killed, man, that he's not killed anybody. And we talk about it all the time when people get pulled over. Look, one DUI is terrible. There shouldn't be 2 and 3, man. I honestly, when I first saw it, I felt that, man, he needed some time, man. Put him in the jail and just let him. I'm not saying, throw him in jail for years or anything like that, but your actions deserve consequences. I tell my kids that. Your actions deserve consequences. And I get it. He's paying $3,500, but this is the 3rd time. I just feel that, and we've seen it in WWE and in AEW. Actually, each DUI has been with a different company. He's got one with WWE, one with TNA, and now one with AEW. I know it's, I can't remember if it's Jimmy or Jay Uso. I want to say it's, hold on, I typed in the wrong thing. I apologize. So it's Jimmy Uso. He's had some run-ins right now. He's had, I know 2 DUI arrests, and the one happened right when they won the SmackDown tag team titles. And either whatever they said has put them on the straight and narrow and they're letting it go, but there was no repercussions from WWE on that one. And again, still going through the process. I don't know what the situation with the second one was. I know there was some, questionability about on the stop and some other things, but at the same time, if you're getting pulled over and you're under the influence, you're still under the influence. Even if you can get out of it because of the legality or technicality or whatever, you're driving under the influence, man. That no damn place for that right now in this. Looking at the wrestling going on, AJ Styles took on oh my goodness, drawing a blank. Seth Rollins last night. That's right. Seth Rollins did qualify for Money in the Bank. Liv Morgan and Alexa Bliss also qualified for Money in the Bank. So Money in the Bank starting to take, concept there. It's been a wrestling really right now is at a weird stage for me because I don't like a lot of the creative that they're doing right now. And again, a lot of it's probably on me as I'm watching it more and more intently than I used to kind of watch it and kind of just, be entertained by it. Now I'm watching it and kind of watching it to break down different things, looking at some of the, last night the Raw got a 1.6. Not so bad. You had game 5 of the NBA finals at the same time. So not a terrible number. It's going to be interesting. Again, numbers always do bad during these times because of the finals, but ultimately, things will turn better, but they also got to put out better damn shows, man. They really do. I was not impressed with Raw. It was an okay show. It was a decent show. It was, it was wrestling. If you want to watch wrestling, it was there to watch. But it did not keep me to where I wouldn't peek back over to game 5 and see what was going on with Golden State and Boston. No way did it do that. I think I ended up watching probably more of the finals than I did of the wrestling. I went back through a little bit today, DVR, thank you. And saw, some of the show. It's just right now, I don't know if I'm just watching it more intently than I ever have, as far as, scrutinizing it, picking it apart a little bit more than I used to, but to me right now, the creative, and again, a lot of injuries, don't get me wrong. I also know there's some injuries. SmackDown this Friday, Riddle versus Roman Reigns on Fox, by the way. So we'll have to see how that goes. I don't believe there's any chance in hell that Riddle wins the title. Let's see here. Any idea when those Big O show hats will be available to the listeners? Giovanni, I do not know. I know we are working on that. And we should have that hopefully within the next couple, I don't want to say maybe a couple weeks, maybe less than that. These were kind of just prototypes that I had made. So when I sit here on the show, I can just have them. I got the red one. I've got a couple other little dolphin ones. Also got a couple shirts made. It helps that, the girl is a graphic designer. So she can pop it all in the press and make it happen for me right away. But soon, Giovanni, soon. Back to my tie right now on pro wrestling. No, I'm just kidding. Looking at where everything is right now, and you know what's interesting today? I saw a tweet from Andrade El Idolo. Hopefully I said that right. You know how AEW and NJPW have the Forbidden Door pay-per-view? Do you know because of his contract with AAA and CMLL, he's not going to be able to be on that show because he can't work with NJPW. Can't work with New Japan Pro Wrestling. And it's affected a couple wrestlers that way. Now, I don't know how Tony Khan, again, there's time in between this here. But I found it interesting that a AEW contracted wrestler probably can't be on one of their biggest pay-per-views to date, Forbidden Door, due to a contract with another wrestling company. Hey, Sid, thanks, buddy. I appreciate it, man. Thank you for popping on real quick and putting that on there, man. And I am bored, and I'm a loser, man. Thank you. You nailed it. Thank you, sir. Now go back in your hole and screw you. Love you, Sid. if that's the real name. But hey, I'm bored and I'm a loser, so I'm going to sit here and I'm going to talk to the ones that are listening and apparently are bored or losers as well. So, hey, it's all good. It's all good in the hood. But I found it interesting, too, with the contracts there that, again, they're signed to AEW, which I thought was their prime contract. Apparently, they have to honor each and every one that they have, which is different than what my understanding was. I thought they were signed to AEW, and then AEW allowed them to work with other promotions. Apparently, what Andrade said is he has also signed with AAA and CMLL, which is not allowing him to work with New Japan Pro Wrestling. So I'm wondering how many other people this affects, because there's a lot of these guys that are on the AAA and CMLL shows. So I'm wondering if it affects anybody else, or maybe they're being their lone talent over, whereas Andrade is a big name. Before he went to WWE, he made his name in AAA and CMLL. So he might be under a different deal with them and probably gets paid a lot more than some of the other guys that are coming over and taking a look at what they got there. Man, MLW, I can't wait till they start coming back. And then, there's also a confrontation. I don't know if you heard about that between MVP and Chris Jericho. It happened in Houston. Apparently they had it says what I heard was that the confrontation around the time of AEW Double or Nothing, it happened at a bar that Matt Hardy and Chris Jericho were at. So I'm going to open up this right here. And this is an update from Sean Ross Sapp at Fightful as well. He reported that a confrontation. You know what? Before I go, Giovanni Perez, Jacob Fatu is probably one of the best big men in wrestling. And if I was one of the big two, meaning WWE or AEW, I'd be doing every damn thing I can to get him signed. But I think he's happy doing what he does with MLW and everything there. I watched him at a CCW show here at Dania Beach when I went, and dude, he's got it all, and he understands the ring psychology. He understands the business side. Dude, he's legit. He's legit. And I think if he wants it and he can come to terms with one of them, he would be signed ASAP and would be pushed to a main roster easily. And if he isn't, they're dumbasses. Because Jacob Fatu is money. Does that damn second rope to the top rope in the moonsault. Dude, he's over 300 pounds. Dude is just light on his feet, athletic, and can go. And he's got a look, too. He's got, again, he's Samoan, so he's got that look. And, man, he can go. He can go. I don't know why he's not with one of the things. He might have something, a reason why he doesn't want to do that. Maybe the travel, being away from family too much or whatever. But I would put them, I'd put him up there. When he was the MLW champion, when I used to do like my own rankings, I would have him up in my top 5. And I'd probably still do it, even though he's not the MLW champion anymore. But I'd probably still do it. But he's legit badass. He's legit worker. He's great. I have nothing but good things to say about Jacob Fatu. I've only seen him a handful of times, and every time I've seen him, it was better than the first or better than the last. Back to this with MVP and Jericho. Sapp cited those close to the situation noted that MVP and Jericho aren't on good terms, and their issues stem from political and social issues that became public in a Twitter exchange. Sapp also wrote that when asked, MVP stated that there was an exchange, but the previous reports inaccurately conveyed the true nature of the situation. The report, like Meltzer, notes that MVP was visiting friends after the show, and when Jericho arrived, MVP approached him. Sapp cited some claims that MVP invited Jericho to handle their business outside, but the latter said that he doesn't fight jobbers. Fightful asked Jericho about the situation. He simply said there's nothing else to say, as he doesn't fight jobbers. SAP report goes on to say that WWE source claimed that WWE head of talent relations, John Laurinaitis, was called about the issue, but this aspect hasn't been confirmed. AEW sources had not heard of this part of the situation. So again, they have some there's some political and social differences between MVP and Jericho. And anybody that knows Jericho's stance knows where Jericho stands, and anybody that knows where MVP stands, if you follow them, you know where they both stand politically and socially, and they're on polar opposite sides of the spectrum. And apparently, I guess they saw each other in Houston. I heard it was at a restaurant. They're saying it was backstage. I have not confirmed either one of those. I do have a call out, so hopefully I will maybe have more information on that, and we'll see how it transpires. But, for Chris Jericho to call MVP a jobber is kind of ridiculous. I get that Chris Jericho is, where he is, but MVP is far from being a jobber. Far from being a jobber. Looking at some other things here before we call this a night. Don't forget WWE NXT is currently on right now. And also AEW Dark has a new episode out on YouTube. And let me see if anything else has come across about the Jeff Hardy incident. And it doesn't look like it. Matt Cardona did go under successful surgery. Looks like he's out for about 3 months. So that means he definitely will not be at the NWA pay-per-view. And Shelton Benjamin returned last night for WWE. And I'm trying to find out about Cody Rhodes. I know there was an update issued. I do not see it. I know he went through successful surgery for the pectoral. And we'll have to see. And then also Warner Media, has got involved and said stop all promotion of Jeff Hardy. So they're removing him from all TV, which AEW had already done. They said he was not going to be on TV again until he had gone through rehab and everything there. But the parent company has also stepped in and said no promotions of Jeff Hardy, and now you can add the Lucha Brothers as well to the list with Andrade El Idolo for Forbidden Door. It looks like Lucha Brothers and Andrade will not be scheduled for AEW versus New Japan Forbidden Door, and that goes with their relationship with AAA. Don't see anything else on the Cody Rhodes incident. I know there's been a couple different things on the Cody Rhodes front, as far as one listed him, possibly returning in 3 months. One had it at 5 months. Triple H supposedly had the same surgery and he was back in 5 months. Now, again, did they hold him out a little bit of time because creatively they didn't have anything for him? Because to me right now, with the way that Cody is booked, when he comes back, Seth is the target. So as long as Seth is there, it doesn't matter if Seth's in a program or not. As soon as Cody's able to go, you throw him back in the picture and you get him right up Seth's ass. And you get that rolling once again, because that right now, that will be money once it goes, especially with the way they wrote it creatively, where Cody, did the old, I'm going to give it my all, and I'm going to be in the Money in the Bank match, and I'm going to do it for the fans and for my dad. And then, Seth came out and said respect, and then he leaves. Cody's leaving, and of course, Seth comes out and attacks him, which there was no way Cody was going to be in the ladder match. But again, they wrote it up that way, got good heat for Seth, and now they've also opened up a big, huge hole so Cody can jump into that hole as soon as he's able to get back in the WWE picture and then go from there. on that. Looking at some other, I know there were some releases from WWE NXT. I did not get all the information. I didn't see that it was the budget cuts. They said there were some policy issues. And I want to make sure I confirm the policy issues before I go in depth on what those releases were, due to the fact that a couple of them were ongoing feuds. One of them was the family with I can't think of his name now. Tony. Drawing a blank on his name. But again, they were in active feuds, and that's the one thing I don't understand with WWE and with their NXT. You put all this money into these guys and gals creatively. You build up their character. You put them in a program. You build up the program, and then just in the middle of the program, you yank them out. Why waste all the damn money? It makes no sense to me sometimes what WWE does. And as I said, maybe it's just the way I'm watching it now. I'm watching a little more intently, more, picking things that just don't make sense to me. Whereas before I was just kind of watching it as entertainment and it entertained me. And maybe, this Squared Circle Digest thing is just, taking me and turn me against pro wrestling and everything that it is. So now I just got to come out and blast it every chance I can. No, I'm just kidding. I still love pro wrestling. Always will. And Sid, I don't care what you say, my man. It's all good. It's all good in the hood. Because if I cared what you said, I wouldn't be here anyways. But I thank you, Sid. Because I got a good laugh about it. And thank you guys for tuning in. Squared Circle Digest again will be at 8 to 8:30 normally. Great or good. Sean, you're looking through producer's eyes. Probably. Because I did, you're probably right, great or good. You're probably right. And also I'm looking more at the creative side of it, whereas before I knew creative was bad, so I didn't really hammer it as much. But now that I'm talking about it a lot more, I'm taking even more notes. Yeah, Sid's a troll. Sid's a jackass. That's all he is. That's all he is. Spells her name S-Y-D. My goodness. Jesus Christ. But as you said, great or good, man, I appreciate you guys. I appreciate everybody. Hi, Jamie, Big O, Giovanni, Sid, of course, you, Dad, John, everybody out there that's been a part of the show today. 8 to 8:30, Tuesdays and Thursdays. I was a little late today because of the couple at Walmart, so I've gone over a little bit here tonight. But don't forget, support both Big O radio show channels. Of course, Big O radio show and then Big O show cuts. We got content going up on both, as well as maybe some surprises down the line. You never know. You never know with the Big O show. You never know. But I can tell you one thing. I'll be here Tuesday night, 8 o'clock. And until then, in the words of the great Gordon Soley, so long from the sun, shine, state.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear Navy. They're your one-stop shop for all your Inter Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24